We are live.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. Hello.
Hey.
Hope everyone is doing well on this evening. So we are all back. We are back together to revisit the case of Randy Leach, who is missing out of Linwood, Kansas since April of 1988. So we are here with Chrissy, and we are here with the boss man, Dennis. We have Tamara with us, and we also have Jen with us.
Hey, guys.
As some of you know, members of our audience and stuff, Jen is the one who does the incredible work with maps. She's also great with information and documenting. And I would say she's one of the top people out there who has devoted unbelievable amount of time and effort into documenting basically anything and everything when it comes to the Randy Leach case. So I would like to welcome her. She's been a guest on our show many a times, and she does incredible work.
Thank you.
But tonight we are going to revisit the Randy Leach case again, and we are going to do another Dowsing Rod episode with Tamara. And we've had so much feedback on what Tamara does, and there's so many people that want to see Tamara, do what she does. And it's just not Randy Leach, the Randy Leach case. It's many of other cases. But right now, so many people's asking about Randy Leach again. So that's what tonight's episode is going to be about. And I'm going to turn it over to Tamara for a minute and let Tamara explain exactly what, she does and how she does it. And just so, the new people in the audience, they might understand what we're doing or what she's doing. And if there's any questions anybody would like to ask, about it before we get started, that'll give her a few minutes to do some question and answers.
Sure. No, thank you. So dowsing is just a tool. So like when you use like dowsing rods, or whether you use pendulums, they're just tools, just for an intuitive connection. So it's no different than like tarot cards, in my opinion, or like readings, and that is just a different way of doing it. It's just a different tool. And it's the way I use it is just you're connecting to your higher self, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, universe, whatever you connect with and believe with, you just connect with that and get the answers that are basically out there. And just to let you know, like officially, this is really just for entertainment purposes only. The answers that are provided, it's not that they are always right. When you do dowsing or you do any intuitive work, you never know if it's right for sure. If the psychic and mediums were always right, there wouldn't be missing people for very long. So it's a little more complex than just knowing exactly where someone is. So some people are very good at that, but there's also other factors involved in that. So really, these are just tools. And just to get answers, basically from the universe, from guides and angels, and I'll just do my best to be guided for the right answers. I always ask for the highest good. And sometimes the highest good is, to not know an answer at this time. So sometimes I'll have a non-response. And so that's common too, if you've seen the past episodes as well. So like I said, it's just for entertainment purposes only. And again, the answers aren't always 100%. It's just how it is at this moment in time. And when you're doing dowsing, since you're using the tool, it's really just kind of like a yes or no. So I'm going to try these ones here, see how they show up on the screen. These ones are a little bigger, but so here's some dowsing rods. And so when you do, I can ask to show a yes, that's when it's crossed. And then to show a no is when it's separate from each other. So that's in general just what it means. That's the common way that most people use dowsing rods. So
yeah.
And everybody has different opinions upon them as well, but that's just how I choose.
Awesome. Well, thank you for letting everybody know again. And just for a minute here, I'd like to turn it over to Jen, and let Jen, if she wants, just for a few minutes to let everybody know like exactly what she does, how she got involved with the Randy Leach case, just so people have a little bit understanding of what she's all about and how she does what she does.
Well, thank you. Wow, it's been so long. How I got turned on to Randy Leach's case. Adventures with Purpose. I was watching a video. I was watching videos of theirs, and all the videos I had seen were of people that had been recovered. And then I got to Randy's case, and I just kept watching. I think there were at the time like 2 or 3 videos, and I was waiting for Randy to be found. And then it turned out, he still hadn't been found to that day. So I started looking into it, and I went down a rabbit hole, and where there was just so much, the police documents, everything else, and they were so disorganized. So what I did was I put everything in order. I tried to find a platform like for the map. That took me a while, that I could share with everybody. And yeah, I just think that's kind of important because like episodes like this, the mapping, while family and friends have been looking for Randy for decades, things like this keep the general public interested in a complete stranger. And that is important because when it comes time for putting pressure on politicians or law enforcement agencies or signing petitions, you need the masses, not just close family and friends. You need the person in Australia. You need the person in New York and Michigan and Indiana. And to really make the local people who have all the power in their hands to say, everybody is watching us. And so that's why I keep doing what I'm doing, what I do, updating the maps, helping new people out, because I want that interest to stay. So this way we have all the better chance to find them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, or go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
With the mapping that you do, that has been so incredible. And I know you've come on once before in the past and shown that and went over that, but you do have an open invite at any time to come back on with that.
Thank you very much. I mean, it took a lot of work, but I mean, even if it creates one more person helping to look for Randy, it was completely worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all works. All of it helps.
It does. I mean, from A to Z, from start to finish, however you want to say it. I mean, any involvement, whether it's boots on the ground, whether it's doing stuff, on social media, every bit of it helps.
And I can't do boots on the ground because I am not local.
Yeah, that is true. You're not here, with us, unfortunately. And, but, we are all appreciative of the work that you've put in and the stuff that you've done and the friendship that we've had with you now for, we're going on probably 2 years?
Yeah, 3 years, something like that.
So, but absolutely, we're very appreciative of everything you've ever done. And, and it's just like what you do, and the stuff like with Tamara being a part of us, and the stuff that she brings to the table to help, and anything and everything helps, no matter what. So,
a lot of people don't realize the hours that Jennifer has put into Randy's case, and because when it comes to a lot of what any of us do when it comes to these platforms, most of that work is done behind the scenes. Our live feeds for this is just kind of the payoff of the work that goes in to put the live feed out.
Yeah.
And Jennifer has put in multiple hours.
Yeah.
You would be hard pressed to find somebody who's put more time in.
Yeah. We're
bragging on you, Jennifer.
Outside of family and friends, yes. For a complete stranger, I have put in quite many hours work.
Yeah, you have 100%.
Well, I hope it helps in other cases too. If someone sees my map and can use the platform for their missing family member or friend, I'm always, open to explaining how I do things. So it could be beneficial to other people. I'm very open in communication. Should anyone ever want to reach out and use the things that I've implemented for Randy as well in their missing loved one's case. So there is that as well.
I am curious, since we just met officially now, but what type of map is it? Like an online map or a physical map that you use?
When I first started, everything was on my desktop in Google Earth Pro. It's an actual program that lets you store locations and subfolders. I wanted something like that, but I couldn't share that with you, with Dennis, with someone who wanted to remain anonymous. So it's an actual web link, and it's a normal map like Google Maps or Apple Maps, and it has satellite. But it shows you like the counties, every location that was searched. If you put in a tip, it goes on the map as a numbered location for, like, say, if Dennis wants to pick something in the area to search. Well, this is on public land. He could try this. This is public property, but I'm right down the block. Let's go ask, that type of thing. And then you can notify me. We searched it. We did it. It needs more searching, things like that, and I'll update the map as well.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing.
And it's awesome what she's put together with that.
The map also gives recognition to everybody else out there who puts in hours of work, because there are people that spend hours combing through Google Images to find something that may resemble a car in the woods, or a car underwater, and that goes on the map. And if they're not anonymous, their name goes with it as well. And then this way we know John Doe from Florida, this is his location. He worked all those hours to find, and if something doesn't look right, we need someone closer to take a look at it and see if it's potentially something that needs more investigation.
Yeah. Well, all we can do is keep, working forward, trying to make progress. We were out, it's been probably about a month ago now. We were out, we looked at a couple sites. We were going to try to get in the water, but unfortunately that did not work. And we've been working on another image that was posted years and years ago on social media. I have reached out to this lady. I've messaged in the pictures that she posted online. She's not reached out. She's not responded. I don't know. And I hate to say this, but when we went through COVID, I've messaged her. She's got 4 or 5 different accounts on Facebook, and I cannot hear her. I've not heard any response from her. But this is a great image. It's clearly a car in the woods, and it's not one that's ever been seen before. But it's the Google image that she shared. It has the road's name on it, and we have backwards, forwards tried to find this image in the way the picture's taken, and we can't find it. But we have came across what appears to be another car in the woods off of that road at another location. So we have another spot that we need to get out and search pretty quick. I hope we can make some kind of contact and move forward with, a search. The image is about, I can't remember. This was it like 200 feet off the road?
Yeah, it was something.
And according to Google Imaging's measuring tool, it fits right in there with the Dodge 600 sedan car. I mean, it's evidently an older four-door sedan car, not a boat car from the 70s, but a, oil crunch 80s car. So, we have a search to do coming up here pretty quick. But hopefully we can get a yes or a no on a question tonight on that particular situation. So, but well, do you have anything else? Does anybody have anything else before we get started? Everybody in the audience, is everybody ready to get going on this? Does anybody have a question before Tamara gets started? Mine was clicking off pretty good. I was seeing comments and stuff, but now it just stopped. So I don't know. We are still alive, right? Yeah, we are. We usually we have people chit chatting and going back and forth and stuff, and it takes off. But well, Tamara, I guess whenever you're ready, just let us know.
I'm ready.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I will go first. Doesn't matter which one you want. All right. Here we go. Was Randy's body in his car when he died?
Okay, we're gonna just assume, because again, it's one of those things like saying, and we talked about this before too. I think because I thought about this earlier, because I really don't want like the family to give up hope. Right. Because that has been a problem with other psychic mediums. Say, oh no, this person's gone. It can be very traumatizing. But we can go with a hypothetical. If Randy's not alive now, if something happened, we can kind of treat it as a hypothetical, not like it's an absolute concrete. So I thought that might be a way to get around it. So we can kind of do that. So with that question. So we basically was Randy in his car. So I get yes. Yeah, very strong yes.
Is Randy and the car close to the railroad tracks?
What do you mean by close?
Within 200 feet.
Yeah, railroad tracks. No.
Okay. Can Randy physically be found in Leavenworth County?
Leavenworth County. Oh, yes. I'm going to ask it again. I'm going to ask that because that's a pretty good question. Is Randy in Leavenworth? It's okay. I still get a yes. So just asked it a different way. Is Randy, in Leavenworth, Kansas right now? I still get a yes. So, okay.
Okay, we have a question from Don't Dex Me Bro. Is Harold responsible for Randy going missing?
No.
Was Randy the only person in the car at the time of the accident?
Yes.
And Bobby said, is Randy by himself or was someone else still with him?
Those are two questions. So is Randy by himself? Yes. Okay. Was anyone with Randy in the car? No.
Has Dennis and Alex been within 10 feet of Randy's current location?
No.
All right, within 50 feet.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm getting kind of a non-answer to that one. It's interesting. How about okay?
Did
Okay.
did I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did Dennis and I see Randy in the hole?
No.
Okay, we had some more questions.
Okay, Byron, is Randy still with the car?
Yes.
Okay. Was it an accident?
Yes. That's a big yes. Yeah, the way I interpret like the dowsing rods, the faster they move or the more exaggerated they move, a little bit more energy. It means different things, different ways, but kind of more emphatic, yes. But
I have a question because Alex's question came up a lot last time about the hole. So my question is, was it a person Alex and Dennis saw in the hole?
Person, any person. No.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good catch there. I didn't think it to look at it that way.
Well, you know, there's a few now that are missing from the area.
There is for sure.
Well, and I mean, you're saying, did you see it? So you're saying, did you physically see the remains of a body versus, were they present? So again, Alcine rods are just very specific. So.
Okay. Is Randy within 3,000 feet of a highway or road?
Yes. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay.
Was Randy speeding?
Is Randy speeding? No.
Was Randy somehow impaired the night of the accident?
So is he impaired through, alcohol or drugs?
Either alcohol or drugs.
On any level. So I get a yes on any level. So again, it could be minor.
Did the car Randy was driving the night of the accident malfunction?
No.
Is the vehicle in a barn?
No.
Was Randy headed home after the party?
Yes.
Okay, we got some questions again.
Okay.
All right.
Aaron Jones, did Randy fall asleep at the wheel?
No.
Don't Dax Me Bro asks, did the car go airborne?
The car go airborne at any level at any point. Okay, yes. Which could be minor, but hitting a good bump kind of puts you airborne. So.
Did Randy take a wrong turn on his way home the night of the party?
Wrong turn as compared to
driving home. Did he take a wrong turn in the vehicle?
Okay, so did he take a wrong turn that would have taken him away from home, the direction home? Okay, did Randy take a turn in air that led him away from heading home? No. Is there multiple ways for Randy to go home? Yes. Okay.
Did Randy pass the triangle that Dennis and I stood in?
Yes.
Is Randy's car covered up by brush that can't be seen by the road?
Yes.
Sam, I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, because I can say, oh, can Randy's car be seen from the road? Any roads? Oh, hold on. Can Randy cars be seen from the road where the accident happened? Okay, no.
Is Randy's car across the street from the barn?
No.
Was Randy trapped in the car after the accident?
Yes.
Can Randy be physically found north of I-70?
Oh, that's weird. Okay. Ask that again. I'm getting a weird answer.
Can Randy physically be found north of I-70?
Yes.
Since I'm the mapping person, my questions are going to have a lot to do with directions and things like that.
Yeah. We had some more questions.
Yeah. Questions from Bobby and Joanne.
Oh, yeah. Is Randy's car within the road or railroad tracks?
No.
What? Okay.
And Joanne?
Was there another vehicle involved besides Randy's?
No.
What is that one? Like that one. What?
The tornado storm.
Oh. Did the tornado affect the car's visibility to be seen?
Okay, so I'm going to say, was there any tornado that affected the car's visibility to be seen or not seen in any way? Okay, so yeah, so there was some effect from tornadoes, whether it was covering it up or opening it. And then your specific question, did the tornadoes affect the car visibility? Well, I guess that is both. Is it able to be seen better now because of any tornadoes? No. Did it assist in covering things up a little bit more? Yes. Okay.
My map has tornado path on it from back
Okay.
as far as it can be recorded, so we can go over that.
Okay, that would be interesting to see.
Has anyone seen his car since the night he went missing?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Doesn't mean they knew what it was, but may not even known it was a car. But
The person that has seen the car, is this a fellow student?
yes. At least one of the people, if there's more than one, at least one of them was a fellow student.
Is Randy's car in a heavy wooded area?
Okay, so I'm from the Midwest too. So heavy woods, it's not the same. It means different things, but I'm going to say, is it in the heavy wooded, heavy brushed, low visibility area? Okay, yes. Are there lots of trees? Yes. Okay.
Is Randy close to any body of water?
Yes.
Is it? This is not a question. Is anybody else seeing the screen freeze up, or is it only me? Are you guys seeing it? Is the audience seeing it? Because I keep getting it freezing up on my end.
I'm not seeing it freeze.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay. Could Randy hear cars or trucks passing by after the accident?
Could he physically hear cars or trucks after the accident? No. But then, one, you're assuming he was conscious, and then two, you're assuming there were cars or trucks around after the accident. So,
Okay. Did anyone try to cover his car on purpose? Or
no.
yeah.
So I did, when I was getting ready for the call, I did get, because sometimes I'll get, like vision, they call it the clairs, whether you can see, clairvoyance, you can see with your mind's eye, or you can hear things like that. And I did see like, so it's like when you're on like a dirt road, I did see like the tires on a dirt road and kicking up the dirt, and I could hear the car going. Not like it was overly fast, but like in the air, like the dust just hung in the air, like it was really still or calm. So I could see that, and I could hear driving over like washboard. I mean that I know that changes over time, but I could hear like going over a washboard, like on a gravel road. And then I do feel like there was like a big hole, like it, how you hit those, you have the washout areas in the road. I do feel like there was no, whether that led to the accident or not, that was just a little bit of image that I saw. It's like getting in the car, seeing dirt, driving in the dirt, the dust. It was very, very, very dusty, and that dust pop up and it would just hang in the air. And it was really dark. And like there was no moon or something, just really dark night. And then again, there was a big like hole in the it's common in dirt roads. Sometimes you'll just get like a washout area, you just get like a big pothole kind of thing. So I did feel like he hit that. Whether I didn't think past that point, but I did see that little bit of an image. So
see this, and not to get off track for a minute here, maybe we'll give you a break for a minute. So I go back to this, like this, you and I, the discussions we've had so many times with Tom Kaufman and his son Keith Kaufman, and Tom in the airplane. And when we talk about them flying, they flew all around the areas. And I asked Keith one day when Keith and I were talking, I said, remember everywhere you guys went that day? And he said, no, I don't, because my dad told me to have my head out the window in the airplane, and we were flying so low and slow, and he told me to look. And this is what kills me, is if Randy is somewhere close between the party and his house, how did they miss him? Because they flew over the creeks, the rivers, everywhere that they thought he could go. And I remember telling, and I don't know if I told all of you this story, but I told Dennis that one time Keith had an RC airplane, and it was really expensive, and Keith was flying it, and Keith crashed it on this piece of property. And so Keith's dad was, I guess, upset because this was an expensive airplane. Well, the airplane was in a certain area that they couldn't, I guess Keith couldn't get to it. So literally Keith's dad and them went up in the airplane and flew over this place where the RC airplane crashed, and flew so low that they spotted it, and Keith was able to walk in and go get it.
wow.
So I think back to them flying in this airplane and looking for Randy and looking for the car. And I'm thinking, man, they would, knowing them, they were probably flying low, slow, and really, really looking. How did they miss him? How, if he's right here under in April, and we've gone over April, we've gone over the vegetation. We knew that they were in a drought. Nothing was green and out of control vegetation growing. We did not have significant amounts of rain for us to have so much green growth and vegetation growth already. So seeing through the brush, seeing through the trees, because there was hardly any leaves, if any buds on the trees yet, how did we miss him? You know, if he's right here in plain sight, where could he be? You know?
In my opinion, that's kind of like putting a diver in a pond without sonar. You could be 3 feet from an object and not know it's there. I mean, if their eyes were focused in one section and, you know, the plane moved, they could have just missed it. Not to say if he accidentally deviated off the course that they expected him to take.
And that's a perfectly good way to put it, you know, because like I said when I talked to Ken, I'm good friends with Keith. I've known Keith since high school, and I've been close friends with him for years. And you know, we have talks about Keith, you know, here and there and stuff, and you know, and I was just curious. I said, where all did you go that day? I mean, did you go all the way to Lawrence? Did you go all the way up to Baser? Did you go all the way back to Bonner Springs? And he's like, man, I really can't say. All we were doing was flying, and my dad had told me to have my head out the window and look, and that's what I was doing. You know, and I think he told me they flew for maybe 2 hours, I think, if I remember right. So, but yeah, I look back and I'm thinking, oh, how could we miss him? You know, the car, you know, I would just think that we would have caught it. But, you know, it's just like what Jen said, a split second of the plane turning and you looking this way or not looking down at the right moment, and you never went back over it. And all these years, he's right there. He's been under everybody's noses all these years.
Plus, the color of the vehicle, I would assume, would be more difficult to see from the air as well, especially if it's in a darker area. Even if there was no foliage, you know, it's still the wooded areas, they're kind of dark and gloomy, even without the leaves on the trees. That might have just blended in just enough where your eyes, you know, didn't register it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Miss Tamara, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Is the car, excuse me, is the car covered in sand?
Okay, is the car completely covered in only sand? No. Okay. Is the car have some sand around it at least? Yes.
All right. Was Randy asleep when he left the road?
No.
Oh, is Randy in water or close to a lake?
Okay, so it's Randy. No, we asked that question. Is Randy near water? Yes. Is Randy near a lake? No.
Is Randy between the river and the railroad tracks?
Which river and which railroad tracks?
Okay.
There could be a lot of places like that.
Okay. So if Randy, we got a yes to, did Randy pass where Dennis and I stood in the rail? Did Randy pass where Dennis and I stood in the triangle? And we got a yes.
Yes, yeah.
That's got another one.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that answer, honestly. I don't know where it is on the map, which that's good. The less I know, the better. But
Yeah. When he passed the triangle, did he end up between the river and the railroad tracks?
I'm getting kind of an I don't know and then a kind of a no. So it's
how about this? How about we ask it like this? When Randy passed the triangle that Dennis and I stood in, did he fly through the air as he went over the railroad tracks?
so did he go airborne a little bit over the railroad tracks? Yes.
Okay. Is the car covered by trees?
Is it covered by trees? Is it
Covered up or
Yeah,
covered?
it's covered up. Is at least partially, yes, at least partially.
Okay. Is Randy close to town?
Yeah, close is a very general term. You know, within driving distance of a town, yes. So I think that was Bobby that asked that. Is it in his mind it was close to town? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Is Randy under a bridge?
No.
Did Randy try to crawl out or get out of the car after the accident?
Did he try to get out of the car at all? Yes.
Did Randy pass the cemetery on his way home?
Known cemetery. Yes.
Did Randy pass 2 cemeteries on his way home?
No.
Because Lenape Cemetery could be considered as passing. It was right off of the party street.
Okay.
Well, once again, this just seems kind of obvious by some of the questions and the answers. That's what it just really jumps out.
Can Randy be found south of the Kansas River?
South of the Kansas River. Get a no.
Tamara, Samantha has a question for you. Can we ask about certain streets or locations?
You can, yeah.
Okay. From the previous video from a couple of weeks ago, it seemed that he was within miles from the party. Are there railroad tracks within that area?
Yeah, I think it was a 6-mile radius,
Yes.
if I remember right. So
And yeah, there's train tracks in that area.
okay. Are most of the like on his way home? Because I don't know like the details about it. Is most of it was it all dirt roads on the way home? Or was some of them paved?
It's both.
Oh, it was both? Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just see the dirt road part, but I don't see past that moment in time. So, but that was like shortly after. I think that was him shortly leaving the party, if I'm seeing it right. But am I seeing
The
it right?
road the party was on was gravel.
Was it gravel? Okay.
1980. Yeah.
Okay, because I do feel like it was because I thought I was wrong on that because I thought I'm seeing him getting in the car kind of, and it was like dirt even there, but I thought that was wrong because I assumed their house was paved, but that makes sense too.
Okay. Can we pull up a map to look at? Jen?
What is it that you want to look at exactly, Samantha?
to see which way he went.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it at a realistic view, where the party was for Randy to go home, he had to go west. And it didn't matter if he went north from the party area or he went around to the south. He still had to go west to get home. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be smart aleck or anything like that, but
I know what she wants. She was like, can you pinpoint it on a map? And I don't know if I can. I know other dowsers, psychic mediums have done that. I've tried on other occasions, tried to pinpoint and been very wrong. So, I mean, who knows?
She said because
that's why this. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I say that's why this is tough. That's why you don't see a lot of dowsers or even psychic mediums, because I mean, you're right or you're wrong, and it just feels awful when you're wrong. So,
because she said, because the last time I asked if he took a wrong turn, they said yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, he's. I guess if you look at it one way, because the discussion has been brought up numerous times, was he impaired by alcohol or drugs? And did he take a different way home to avoid the main roads that would go through the Linwood area to get to his house? So did he take different roads that he would not take, which I guess in a way, if you possibly looked at it, is did he take a wrong turn? Well, could you look at the wrong turn as not being a normal direction that he would take to go home? I guess it's how you all interpret it and stuff. You know, if in my mind, if I thought he took a wrong turn, he would have left the party and went east or went way north and never ever turned back to the west to go home.
Yeah, that's how I would kind of interpret it. But yeah, that's why with dowsing, it's very, very black and white. So yeah, the more questions like these, the better, because it drills down to get more detail, because like I may interpret something different than the person asking the question, you know, so it helps with that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can ask it this way then. Was Randy on a road he had no intention of driving on?
No. So that means so did he intend to drive the way home that he did? Yes. In the center of person asks. So the way that he went home, was it an intentional drive? Okay, yes. Did he intentionally go a less traveled way? Yes.
So when Randy went home, did Randy go west of the triangle?
Yes.
Did Randy make it to the bridges west of the triangle?
No.
Is Randy on the south side of the road that's west of the triangle? That's a hard one.
Hard one, yeah. South. So is he on the south side? Is right now?
Dennis, you tell me how far to go.
Let's see. Address, property owner's name.
Yeah.
Coordinate.
Yeah. That again, like there's also like in all of this, there's always, and I always ask this, it's always for the highest good, because there's always a right time sometimes, like for someone to be found, but it's a balance, because it's also like, well, if it's only going to happen at the right time, then what's the point of looking? But at the same point, it's like, well, there's so many here, people that want to help, that want to try, that can turn also into the right time too. So I don't think anyone understands it, you know, and it depends on what your belief system too. But so I kind of see it as a combination of both, and I struggle with it sometimes too. But I do feel like, I'm going to ask, like, so are we in a point in time in general, not like today, but, in a general point in time where, Randy is capable of being found? I do get a yes. In the past, was there some reason why he shouldn't be found? I mean, no. Okay. So a lot of times you also get, like, there's a silver lining to everything, which is still, this is awful, but there's still some things that, good can still come out of things that are bad. There's still lessons and things like that can come out of it. Things can get improved. Although it would have been easier to learn it in a different way. So
I want to ask another question, and this is just going to kind of to see the verification of things, if things are going the way they're going. So is Randy north of the triangle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see here.
Okay. I see a couple other questions.
Right. Was Randy on his way home when the accident occurred?
Yes.
Was he on his way to another party location?
No.
And this one's for you, Alex. Can you name the street?
I could name the street, but that's if the boss.
Yeah.
I would
No.
I would say one of those would be okay.
Yeah.
The main one through there.
Now I'm drawing a blank.
Jen,
you know where I'm at, Jen. What's the name of the street?
Golden Road.
Isn't that Golden Road?
Golden Road.
Okay. So
Golden
specific. So is Randy and his car somewhere near Golden Road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So is the car that I found in the woods the Dodge 600?
I'm getting a no answer on that one.
Is the car, wait a minute. Is the car that I found off of Golden Road the car that Randy was driving?
You know? But you kind of got a no answer before, so
Okay.
I still wouldn't definitely count it out.
I have a question. At any point in time, did water from the Kansas River touch Randy's Dodge 600?
Oh, yes.
So that's any point in time. That
Any
doesn't
point.
mean it's now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm getting definitely yes on that one, so.
Is he on private property?
Yes. See, there's a couple questions too.
Let's see.
From Big Hayes
Is Randy next to a beach?
Beach. I'm assuming beach is like a lake. Lake beach? No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is Randy close to the triangle that Dennis and Alex were in?
Relatively close. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then Byron asked, does anybody have the questions and answers wrote down from the last time that can be compared that could give us a possible pinpoint location?
I do.
Yes, Jennifer and I both have copies of that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like 6 or 7 pages, but yes, we have.
Yeah. And I can, like I said, some dowsers you can pinpoint. Like I said, I personally haven't had that luck yet, and I think that's just my confidence to a certain degree and allowance. But
Byron, I also have mapped out sections based off of last time's questions and answers as well.
And it seems like a lot of the answers tonight kind of coincide with answers from last time as well.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same.
Okay, so let's go this route. Did Dennis and I, the day how do I answer that? How do I ask this?
I know what you're going to ask, and I think the answer is yes. But
the day
were you close? Is that what you're going to ask? Were you in the
right
spot? Or?
So basically, the day that Dennis and I stood in the triangle, and then we drove to the end of the road, and we turned around and we drove back to the triangle, did we pass Randy in the car?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm heading to Linwood.
Don't forget to come by and get us. Right.
That's interesting because I have no idea what you're saying, like where the location is or anything. I mean, I can see the triangle in my head, and I think you sent a picture of it, but I just remember like a bunch of.
So the triangle picture goes back to, and I'll explain this to everybody. The triangle picture goes back to this picture that this girl posted. And she posted it back in 2018. This is pre-COVID. And I wasn't trying to say, like, to be rude, but I honestly thought, well, what if she had COVID and passed away? Because she's not answered none of my questions. She's not responded. I've messaged her. I did a friend request on a couple of her accounts and nothing. It's like she's just gone. So the problem is this picture in this car, the road in this picture looks curved, and in this picture, the road says Golden Road. It's on the map. It says Golden Road, and it's curved. Well, if anybody's done any research, there's only a couple places on Golden Road where there is a curve. Well, I thought after this curve, and how I know Golden Road is there's only one area with a curve. That's where the triangle's at.
Okay.
And as we looked at it and we tried to decipher this picture, and well, you can't see it, but I'm literally we're turning it and I were looking at it. I soon realized that the screenshot that she posted is not it's not that curve, because the trees, it's a wintertime picture. There's no vegetation on the trees. And there's clearly a car upside down or right side up in this picture, and it looks like a four-door sedan car. It's definitely been there forever. You can tell by the colors. But when you look at those trees and you look at all this stuff, there's nothing matches up in that curve of the road where the triangle is. So that eliminated that location right there. But Dennis and I, we still marched in there. We walked through the triangle. We looked in there because, once again, the way Golden Road goes, if Randy was going and instead of going to the west and he went to the north, but instead he misjudged it and went through the triangle, he could have cleared so much of the trees and landed down in the bottom, and nobody would have seen it from the road. And our thought was the simple thought that everybody kind of thinks, oh, he's been there the whole time. He's right here. He's literally been here the whole time in this area that nobody could see. And that's why I pushed for us to go, boots on the ground, check this out. Well, after we did that, we checked on some other locations. And that's why I'm this other, the way these questions we're getting the answers, it's like he's right down the road from where we've been, and he couldn't have gone to the right because it's physically not possible to go to the right.
Okay.
He had to have gone to the left and gone airborne over the railroad tracks and landed on the other side of the railroad tracks. Because if he was, but then again, it's like, okay, well, why hasn't the engineers on the trains seen the car,
Yeah, they would have said something right away, you think.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, I don't know. But, I kind of, the thought of, is he really right there this whole time? And either which way of either going west of the triangle or going to the north of the triangle is he can go home either way. You either go straight on this way or you go to the north and cut back across. So
now I just checked the possibility of going over the railroad tracks, and on the other side of the railroad tracks there was still a lot of trees and foliage in 1985. I went on historic aerials just real quick, and there was definitely enough to cover up a vehicle in that area or the triangle.
Okay.
yeah,
Is it still covered like that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
part
Jen.
of the triangle would be like the southwest portion of the triangle. So,
Yeah.
Could we ask that next? If he's in the southwest portion of the triangle?
Okay. Okay. Is Randy and his car in the southwest portion of the triangle?
Can Randy be physically found in the southwest portion of the triangle?
I'm giving a yes. In there or in that vicinity? Yeah, it's still saying yes.
Well, unless he's buried underground, he's not in the triangle. Unfortunately. I mean, because Dennis and I walked the triangle.
Okay.
I mean, we walked it enough that you could see the south side where the road is to the south. We walked in where you could see the hillside to the east, where the curve, where it transitions from, going west, the east-west to the north-south side of it. And when we came out on the west side, which is literally like they took a dozer and cut a road through the hill. That's basically how the west side it is. So I'm pretty sure we didn't miss him. Because if we go back and he's there,
Something's happened.
Okay, did Dennis?
I'm not going to feel good about myself.
Well, let's ask it this way. Did Dennis and Alex walk over Randy's Dodge 600 when they were in the triangle?
No,
You did not.
I didn't know for that.
Is Randy on the outskirts of the triangle?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, is Randy on the outskirts or somewhere nearby the triangle? Yes. I mean, that's pretty vague, but it's kind of in the vicinity.
So, but the questions that we've asked, it seems that he is somewhere in the vicinity of the triangle, but before you get to the bridges, which now there is only one bridge.
So let's see. Is Randy and his car located before the bridges? Yeah, still yes. Okay. Is he located at? Is he somewhere after the bridges? No. Okay.
Is the car buried enough so you can't see it anymore?
Okay, so I'm going to ask. So, can you, as of now, can you see it? Yes, at least parts of it, at least some of it. Has it been almost invisible before in the past? Like almost completely covered? Yes. Is it less covered now? Yes. Okay.
Has anyone who has ever been hunting seen the car?
Yes. Doesn't mean they know what it was or anything like that, you know. Just,
I know where I'll be tomorrow if it rains.
How long is it from the triangle to the bridge?
Put it this way, driving the speed limit's just like a few minutes. It's not real far.
okay, that's a short area.
Okay, let's try to narrow it down even more. Is Randy on the south side of the railroad tracks?
No.
Is Randy on the north side of the railroad tracks?
Yes. Don't even know if that's possible. That's the answer I got.
We literally stood on the road and looked over the edge of the road towards the railroad tracks.
Well, like I said, it's hard to say. And it's, again, I'm treating it as general, but yeah, who knows? Maybe this is all wrong. So, but.
That's all right.
Right. Okay. I feel like at least there's parts of it. I feel like, are we getting close to the location? Yes. Have we been able to pinpoint it exactly? No. Okay. I get an answer. Pinpoint it exactly? No. Okay. So that's at least that moment in time. So, okay, go ahead.
Can Randy physically be found west of the triangle, but before the first residential house?
I get a yes for that one.
After the triangle, before the first house.
I get a yes for that.
All right.
We had somebody text in a question.
Did the flood of 1993 shift the car from the original location?
Yes.
And the flood of 1993 would have been over the railroad tracks there. I'm pretty sure.
And that would be considered water from the Kansas River, technically, for the question.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was wondering when you said that, it's like I don't feel like it was like in the Kansas River, but there was somehow water from the Kansas River there. Like I like how you worded it. That seemed to feel a bit more closer to what occurred. So
Bobby says, can you see the car if you stand on the tracks?
No.
Oh, Alex, this is Byron said, Alex, have you Google searched her name for a possible obituary?
No, I have not. No.
Oh, I don't even know if that's going to fly.
I don't even know if that's her legitimate name. I mean, well, it must be her legitimate name because all of the Facebook profiles that match her picture all have the same name. So I would say it's probably her real name. But no, I did not in depth try to chase her down, troll her out on social media. I just did, basically on Facebook because of the post that she made and all that.
Okay. Is Alex and Dennis going to find Randy?
With this new information.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe.
Bobby, are you ready? Camera?
Yep, I'm
When
ready.
you walk the tracks, can you see car parts?
Parts. No.
Someone said this is off topic. Does someone have a smoke detector that needs a new battery?
Yes, that would be me. I literally, right when we started, is just start going up. I don't even know which one it is. So
I haven't heard that till literally that question was just asked and Tamara started to answer and then I heard a chirp.
yeah. Yeah, I know. I literally just sat down and I was like, oh, it's going off, whichever one it is. I don't know which one it is. I just hope it's not really high.
It's not bad. Did we get an answer for that one, Tamara? If you walk by, can you see car parts?
Yeah, the answer is no.
No. Okay.
If we walk by, will we be able to spot the car easily?
No. Gonna have to look.
Did the car get buried? Did the car get buried from a landslide?
Oh, from a landslide. No.
No.
Did the car get buried, or at least to some effect, partially or to some degree more buried because of the floods? Yes.
Well, the reason I asked that is thinking how high the water got in that area possibly. Did it cause some of the hillside to break away and slide down and cover the car?
Yeah, see, I saw landslide as like it's a great big landslide down a hill. So
No.
Yeah.
Because if you stand in this area and you look over the road, it's pretty steep and there is a lot of brush on that hillside.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where everybody's all from, but there's areas where I grew up with my family and we would go down to the Kansas River and go fishing. And there's spots where they used to just push cars over the cliff, whether they were stolen or whatever. And they would be on the sides of the embankments and there would be trees growing up around them. So this is the perfect example, which in my thought, okay, great. This is legitimately, this could be it. The problem is the railroad tracks are right there at the bottom.
Mhm.
So if he is on the north side of the railroad tracks, but on the south side of the road that runs east and west from the triangle to the bridges, he would technically, you would think he would be on that slope of the hillside and the car's covered by vegetation by now and possible dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking back to, once again, that time of the year, the car went off. It would have knocked brush down, trees down, depending on what was growing there. Why was it never? I mean, evidently we did ask a question and somebody has seen it. So was it a railroad engineer that seen it? For sure. Was it people mushroom hunting or deer hunting that seen it? That's where I was kind of leading with those questions, trying to, think who has put eyes on this, because just because you see a car in a field on a fence row doesn't mean it's stolen or it's a missing person.
Yeah.
It could have been a wreck and they couldn't access to pull it out, so they just left it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what people think, but I don't know the railroad traffic. I know the day that Dennis, when I was there, I think the trains went by twice within an hour and a half of being in the general area and talking. So I would say the trains probably go through there at least 10 times a day. I mean, that's possibly 10 engineers putting eyes on it, possibly. So,
yeah, I mean, and it's not like you have, you know, in the Midwest, not like you always have like cars everywhere, but it's common to leave a car out in the field. That's not unheard of. So, I mean, this would be newer, so you think they might notice something, but if they're not a part of the local area, they didn't know the news, you know, or they didn't, you know, it's hard to say. Now, again, someone who was hunting and saw it, because I do feel like that's, you can ask, you know, like you said, did a hunter see it? And the answer for that is yes. Mushroom picker? No. It's a railroad employee seen the car at some point. Yes.
How about a fisher?
and I assume that Jen has probably already went back in time and looked at images of that area to see if she could see anything.
I'm looking at them right now.
Because I will as soon as we're done tonight. Whether, you know, it's Google Earth or one of the other sites, but
yeah, I feel like it's like when you're looking, like it won't be what you think it is. It's not what you think. It's not going to look like what you think it should like. It'll look a little different. So keep an open mind.
yeah,
maybe a metal detector. I mean, I'm looking at the map right now, and I mean, compared to the areas we were looking at, it's a manageable area. Shoulder to shoulder grid search with the metal detector would rule out once and for all that area.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it may have to be a couple weekend trips because, I mean, what it is when you're standing there versus what it is when I'm looking at it from aerial. I mean, it's still a good portion size of land, but compared to all of Leavenworth, Douglas, and Johnson County, I mean, it's very manageable to knock out in a couple weekends with a grid pattern and a metal detector.
I mean, I definitely think we would have to probably go to the other area and park, and probably have to ride four-wheelers along the railroad tracks to get back up to that area, because I would say it's probably too steep, and I'm a big boy. I don't know about rappelling down the steep embankment hill. I mean, we can all hook a winch onto me and I'll roll down it. But I think that we would have to go park at the other end and ride the four-wheelers down and then do our boots on the ground searching, you know, back up in that general area. I think that would be the safe way. And we would have a better view of looking across and up versus trying to look down through the vegetation. And see.
That hill, as we were driving out and we were looking down it, you would definitely have to have ropes and harness to even get.
Oh, yeah.
It's not straight up and down, but it's pretty close to it.
Could you do like
tuck and roll, baby? That's what
Samantha just said. Yeah.
Hey, I'm told to tuck and roll.
Could you do like a drone, or is it just too much vegetation and trees?
At this point right now, this part of the year, yeah, I would say it's probably too much vegetation.
Yeah.
Too much, you know, canopy in the trees, just everything. So I think getting down at the bottom and looking up and then trying to, I guess in my mind too, I go back to thinking, if you look at it, okay, was he speeding and it was an accident? Did he get too far over and then roll down off the cliff? Or did he go airborne and land so far down and then landed that way? I mean, how do we look at it is what I just saw Byron's comment. You know, I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's
hard to say. I mean, because it can be, because I do feel like intuitively, I felt like, you know, it was very dark, you know, and even though he knows the roads, and I've done the same thing. I mean, it's a little harder to drive the older you get, but, you know, there's times where it's dark out and you don't, you know, sometimes curves surprise you. You don't expect them, especially if you're driving a little faster, you know. I don't think he was like overly speeding, but
Yeah.
you know, if you were a little bit, even if you had a little bit of alcohol, enough to impair a little bit, that would be enough to maybe think, you know, or overcorrect. Or like I said, I think there's something with, there was a big, call it a pothole, but it was a dirt road, so it's just a washout. Something landed on that, you know, overcorrected, or car went somewhere else. Whether that was at point in time, or again, it was more like a curve. Like I said, there could be lots of different reasons.
Yeah.
And even if you find the car, you still may never know. So
Yeah. Well, I think our questions in the last episode that we did this, I think there was enough questions and answers that still dictated that his remains would be found in the car.
yeah, that's the answers I seem to get. I feel like that's. I feel like intuitively, I feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
And I like how Samantha, I know he said dirt roads can pull your car. Yeah, if there's a little bit of patch and, you know, heavier gravel, that can pull you one way or another, you know, either in or out. So yeah, it's dirt roads are, you know.
Well, I would suspect that people will try to investigate this, looking online, looking at images. I'm sure at this point, Dennis and we will all discuss about getting back out the next few days or this upcoming weekend. And I'm sure we will document, take pictures, and, you know, whatever happens, of course, we would let everybody know. But I feel at some point, whether we are to find him or we do not, we will still show everybody the area that we have been talking about and how steep it is. We will show people the triangle, which I kind of feel like if you watch some of our little short videos, you would have already seen the triangle and where we were at. But I would say that, you know, just to give everybody the visual of what we are talking about and everything, if that's what the boss says, yeah, let's do it, then that's what we will probably do.
You should take Byron with you. He's okay with rappelling.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, rappelling's fun. I actually do have some gear to do some rappelling. I'd love to do it, but I don't know if my rope's going to reach the bottom of that hill or not. I would need a longer rope.
I can kind of give you guys a little funny story about Big Jeff that's part of our group, even though Jeff is, you don't ever see Jeff on with us, but Jeff does, he does discuss stuff with us. So one time Jeff and I was doing a property cleanup job and we had to weed eat a very large ditch. And I literally I think we took a rope and wrapped it around Jeff's stomach. And then I took the winch cable on one of the four-wheelers I had, and I would literally winch Jeff up and down the ditch hillside as he was weed eating. So we were kind of rappelling. But yeah, Samantha, thank you. Makes us feel like we're involved. Absolutely. There is things that I'll ask Dennis, like I did earlier, how far do you want me to go with saying things or things? And sometimes Dennis and I will text back and forth, and it's like, okay, there's things that we can't tell people when we're told not to discuss them. You know, if we go to a piece of property and do a search and they're like, hey, we don't care if you talk about it, but don't say where you're at, who's involved, who owns it, what you've seen. You just were here. You just were looking. So sometimes I kind of, we have to, it's like an NDA, but kind of not, but kind of is. So we can't always discuss everything. And there is things that have been done where it's never been talked about. So I know a lot of people sometimes people will ask, well, what have you done lately? Well, what does this happen? We're always working on stuff and doing stuff, even when we don't talk about it. just because we always can't lead on to everything. So what's Brian saying here? I am a high angle rescue certified.
Well, there
It's
you go.
been a while, but it wouldn't take much to do a quick refresher. Okay.
Are you local, Byron?
He is. He's not far from us.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
See, we've been talking back and forth, and there'll be times he's going to be coming out with us doing some searches and stuff. Really good guy.
Yeah, and Samantha, I'm glad you feel like you're involved. I mean, everyone, you have had some fantastic questions. Everyone has.
Peter writes, I am local too, but nobody cares.
Get a hold of me, Peter. We'll bring you out on these searches. We could use more boots on the ground for sure.
Now,
I'm sorry.
Peter, did you grow up in the area when Randy went missing, or are you just local now to the area? Everybody's waiting on Peter now.
Putting you in the hot seat, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people that do still care, because there's people that we talk to that still live in the Linwood general area that still almost on a weekly basis we communicate with. But I also think when you think about things, there's the out of sight, out of mind scenario. You can still go to stores in and around Baser, Linwood, Tonganoxie, DeSoto, and you can still see Randy's flyers. But as for the random news, the yearly news things that will still bring up Randy's case, and then you have like what we do on social media, and then there is other people out there who are searching for Randy. We're not the only ones. I believe for the most part, it's been going on for so long that the only time they get interested or they talk about it is either if they see something of ours or they see something on the news. But any other time, it's just out of sight, out of mind. It's not something that the average person thinks about on a daily, weekly basis, monthly, whatever. And in a way, that's what a lot of cases. And it is sad because, it's there is cases that have been going on for so long, like Randy's, and there's cases that are older than Randy's and cases that are newer than Randy's that get no social media attention, the news, the radio, TV, nothing. And you have the random people who will post something that says, oh, I miss my aunt or uncle. They've been gone for 10 years now. And then nobody says a word till the next year when that same person will repost something. It's sad that there's just no awareness being spread about cases. There was a case that Dennis reposted a video the other day, and I'll admit I totally forgot about it. And she's been missing 40 minutes from where Dennis and I are at, basically. And she's been missing since, what year did she go missing, Dennis? 99 or 2000?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I haven't seen or heard anything of her case since the last time Dennis had said something, which has been a while. So it's sad that these cases, things do happen like this. And I wish we were able to spend every day promoting this and trying to help get answers, but unfortunately we can't. We all have jobs, we all have, this is part of our life, and we have another life that we all live. um, you know we're not like Adventures with Purpose or some of the other ones where that is their jobs. This is what we do in our spare time to try to help. So yeah, I mean, it would be great if we could devote 24/7 to spreading awareness. And sometimes I think we'll get a little hate comments here and there where people are like, why are you posting this crap again? Okay, well, nobody's posted anything about this person that's been missing, so now we're going to repost this video that we did last year to get it out there, because we're not making money. We're not making uber amounts of money by any means on any of these videos, because I mean, we can honestly say that a lot of our videos don't even get 20, 30 views. Some of our big ones will get decent amount. And I mean, we're talking a few hundred. I think there's some of the videos that Dennis did about Randy back in the day that would have 1,500, 2,000 views. But, the most of our stuff, we don't get that much traction, and we do ask, please share, please help spread awareness, so.
Well, I think these lives help too, because unlike videos or podcasts, you get a live instant interaction, a push and pull, almost like a town hall type of thing. Yeah. And it, like Samantha said, it makes people feel involved. And that helps get local people who are watching more interested in something they've heard about, but like you said, out of sight, out of mind. It puts that in the back of their head when they're out in their local communities that, hey, this is in the area. I've seen this. Maybe this has to do with this missing person. Or like in Randy's case, I'm in the area, we just had this discussion, that we were talking back and forth. I was included in it. And now I'm going to start to go look myself for Randy as well. Someone who may not have done it to begin with by just watching a podcast or seeing a video. But the interaction is what really, really helps. And that's why, I come on with you guys and stuff like that, because believe me, being on YouTube is one of my least favorite things to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you all guys know, I don't know how many of the people in the audience know, but I went to school. So the year that Randy went missing was 1988. It was the last year of Linwood High School and the last year of Baser High School. The following school semester of 1989, the school districts combined, and that was my first year as a freshman. So my mom and dad paid tuition for me to go to Baser Linwood High School. So I went to school with basically the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors of Linwood High School that were the underclassmen of Randy. And of course, all the Baser kids when the school districts combined. So I mean, it was only a handful of months after Randy went missing that the school year started again. And, I remember hearing about the kid who went missing just a few months ago, this and that. But the thing is, I guess when we kind of think about the out of sight, out of mind, back in the day, there was kids that I went to school with who, they would talk about Randy on social media. Nobody talks about Randy no more. And it's sad. I'm probably one of only a few that ever do mention Randy's case. And I you know, what do? I put it out there. Hey, come talk, come join, you know. And I wish more people would talk about things. You know, I wish more people would be involved, you know, if they have some way to be involved in a case. But sometimes they just don't. Is Bobby already going to sleep?
Yeah.
Night, Bobby.
Night, Bobby.
Good night, Bobby.
Alex, something else you mentioned a couple minutes ago about, you know, jobs and making money on YouTube. Our channel is monetized, and you got to make $100 before they pay out. Our last payment was $113 back in October of 2024.
Oh,
Since October 2024, trying to get this where it could be seen.
woo, we are killing it.
$93.19.
Only half of us can go to Taco Tuesday.
And that's going to have to be Jennifer for joining us tonight and Tamara for doing the work with the dowsing. Let us know how it tastes, ladies.
Well, I mean, I would think by now our diehard, you know, fans, you know, people that watch us know that we are not in it for the money by any means. And it's this stuff doesn't happen for free. I can promise you that. So, you know, good night, Bobby. Sleep tight.
No, gas money alone to get to the locations you're searching.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think from like where I live, it's almost an hour drive to get to Linwood. From where I'm at. Maybe 50 minutes. It depends on which way I go. What does it take you, Dennis?
We're about 45 minutes.
45 minutes, so.
Then depending on traffic, 45 to 50. But.
Yeah. Well, should we do some more questions? Are you up to it?
Yeah. Yep,
Tamara?
I can do some more. Oh, I wanted to let you know I have like Oracle cards. I like Oracle cards as well, and I just picked a random one, and I thought this one. I don't know if we can. Let me pull it so you can see it. So it's basically life is speeding up. It's a 2, which is nice. So I feel like that's actually kind of like what I mentioned. It seemed like this is a more opportune time. I think it's like things are moving along faster. So I think that there's a stronger possibility, you know, that if he is meant to be found, that, you know, it's getting close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I sure hope so. I hope with, you know, us doing these type of shows and, you know, everybody, when we all talk and communicate, because I can be honest, there's times where we will sit and discuss stuff and we will pick each other's brains. And then it's like, we do this, and they're like, how did we not think of that? I mean, that was so simple. Why did we? And I mean, I'll be honest. That day that when I went to the Triangle first, and, you know, then I met up with Dennis, and then we went back to the Triangle. And I remember standing down there at the edge of the road and just looking at the railroad tracks, and I'm thinking, could he just be down here on this hillside somewhere, and all these years he's just been overlooked? I mean, how easy would it be just to fly off of this road and land down there, and then fly off this way and land right over here? But I guess, like I said before, in the back of my mind, I think back to everybody looking. I think back to the plane flying, you know. I think back to this, and I'm thinking, there's no way that they could have missed him right in this general area. But
I think that's happened in other cases too, where someone will be missing and then they'll be, you know, kind of where people thought they were. Usually it involves water, but not always. That, you know, they'll just be like, oh, now we found them, and like they were here the whole time. I mean, it's not always that case, but I think it's possible.
Well, what is, real quick before I get sidetracked again, what is the Occam's razor phrase?
The simplest possibility tends to be
the most
The most,
real.
yeah, the one that tends to be the truth. It's not always that way.
Yeah.
I forget the exact wording of it, but yeah,
The
it's
simplest answer is often the correct answer. Something like that.
mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
It's true. That's true, but it's not always true. So, but yeah, I mean, we're kind of leading towards a relatively simple answer, but
Yep. Oh, Bobby didn't go to sleep. We
Yeah,
better.
we've got, let's see, what's it? 3
He's fighting it.
questions we got to get to here. You ready, Tamara?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Was the area he is in, was it searched at the time he went missing?
That's a good question. No.
Bobby's, one more question. Is Randy above the railroad track on the hill?
Okay, so is he on the hill? No.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that as on top of the hill. So
All right. Did Randy know he was past his curfew when he headed home?
yes. Was he worried about it? No.
Was Randy afraid of his dad if he was past his curfew?
No. Would his parents tend to be asleep past the curfew? Yes. It's much easier now with Life 360.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Randy on government land?
No.
Would that be the same question as the Corps of Engineers, Jen? Is that what you're getting at?
Any type of government municipality, like owned by the city of Linwood, owned by the state of Kansas, things like that.
Okay. I'm not getting like state, city, no. Would you, I think we had the question about private, is it private property or some type of private property? Yes. That could include businesses or personal. So
Is the property owned by the railroad?
yes.
Have we asked if he was alone in the vehicle?
We
Yeah.
have asked. Yeah. Yes.
I
Yeah. And the answer is still yes. Yes. Okay.
Was anybody following Randy home that night?
No.
So did Randy have a motor vehicle accident that caused his disappearance?
Yes.
I'm kind of at the point where I don't know where to go with any other questions because I kind of feel like we need to focus in that one general area at this point.
I got a yes on that.
Yes.
Because the other thing that I found that is interesting, especially since I've been doing like especially with the one specific to like missing people or a thing like that, there is there is value to the search and the research, even if you don't find anything, which I think is counterintuitive. It's like, well, wouldn't it be better just to find them right away? No. But yeah, there's value to the process of the search. There's value to the research, whether it, even if you don't find that, there's still like a high level of value to it, whether it's relative to this case, relative to other cases, or relative just to everyone's own personal growth. So
Are the railroad tracks surrounded by water?
I don't think I'm seeing like completely surrounded. I don't think they're completely surrounded. Is there water nearby? Yes.
Okay. Did Randy try yelling for help after the accident?
Yes.
Was Randy?
Already did. Yeah, we're all caught up.
You ran off the road.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do. Was Randy? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Was Randy ran off the road by someone?
No.
So Mac Randall Jr., that area that we're talking about, it is a very narrow road. I'm not quite sure if it's like a full 2-car length wide. If not, I honestly don't remember. I do remember when I drove down through it, I drove kind of in the middle of it. I mean, there is down at the other end where the bridges are, it is wider. But right in this area where we are discussing stuff, it is pretty narrow. So I
need to take 2 tires off the road on each vehicle, I think, to pass each other through there. When
we go back, we might measure that just out of curiosity to see how wide it is, and then maybe do a little, looking on Google Earth on the historical side and see if over time that road has, become narrower due to less grading. When the bridge was taken out, the road became a dead-end road, basically. Whereas before, it used to be a thoroughfare road on the south side of that whole area. So I would say back in the day, it probably had more maintenance and grading done and gravel work than it does now, because it's not a full road that you can drive through from one side of town to the other. So.
Yeah, because Max said that's kind of why I was wondering if someone was trying to run him off the road to get rid of him.
Yeah, I know people have talked about, like drugs can be involved in that. And, when I look at like some of the missing person flyers and that, sometimes I can get like an intuitive, like, oh my gosh, there's drugs involved, whether it's using them, but there's something that I feel like led to them missing, that had to deal with drugs, whether they were dealing with a drug dealer or, some aspect of it that led to that. With Randy, I feel like, maybe he was drinking or whatnot, but I don't feel it was like that. Like there was some type of negative drug involvement that led to him. And I know there's a lot of talk and stories about that. I don't know them in detail, but I don't feel the same feeling that way. I mean, offhand, it was an ass.
I know one thing. If it truly comes down that all this was a simple accident, all these other people that pointed fingers at all these other people all these years, and they heard and they knew that's how bad, how terrible was all these people made out to be such a villain and a bad guy and all this and that, when it was nothing but hearsay and accusation and rumors, and there was no truth to it ever. If this is truly what happened to him, that's terrible.
Yeah, I think, that doesn't mean that like the people they accused weren't involved in drugs and things like that.
No, absolutely, but the general cause of what happened to him, if these people that were all fingers pointed at and this and that and truly had nothing to do with it, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's always hard, because we're all looking at the evidence you have in front of you. But like there was a case actually, because I was looking at like the Chance Engelbert case. And then someone posted this story saying, oh my gosh, there was a gal that went missing and she was with her boyfriend and she went to get a tattoo and she told him, go get me something to eat. I'm hungry. And he came back and she was gone. Everyone literally attacked him saying, you did something, you were walking. They did have a video of her walking by herself at some point, but they're like, you must have killed her. Literally the whole every post was about you're a horrible person. You killed her and you hit her somewhere. It was just awful, one thing after another. And then a week later, she finally texted her mom and said, no, I'm fine. I just went off and had a fun weekend or week with this other guy. And she said she turned her phone off or whatever, she purposed. But it's like, so everyone attacked this poor guy and he didn't even do anything wrong. So I know it's the first person you look at, but it's not, again, not always, Occam's razor isn't always always there. But yeah, simple. She in that situation, she was fine. She just ran off and left him basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always hard
for us to want to blame someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then pack mentality kicks in, and then you just got everybody focused on one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We also want that fast, easy answer. We want the answer. We want it now. It's like, it takes time, it takes time to do the investigation. It takes time to analyze, DNA lab samples, videos, all that. So, we want it to be quick, and it's not always quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we had some more questions here.
Okay. Byron asked, was someone chasing him that night?
No.
Let me ask one. This is going to be one of those fast and easy question answers.
Mm-hmm.
Am I currently looking at the physical location of the Dodge 600?
No. Oh, yes. So it's possible.
Okay.
Yep, it is. If it's anything, it's either going to be there or a good thing to check it off the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there value to go to that location? Yeah. Okay. Is there value to go to the railroad location too? Okay.
Oh.
Did a cat just knock you down?
I don't know what my cat transported through a window. Hold on just a second.
And Dennis and Alex, I'll screenshot that location I'm looking at, and I'll send it to you. It's in the vicinity you guys are talking about. I just pulled some images off of a different mapping site.
Okay.
And to answer these questions, are you planning on going out again soon to revisit previous searches or current new ideas for searches? Yes, Alex and I will be in contact, or we're in contact almost every day, but we will be lining these up and getting back out in that area very soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to go without Dennis, because I'm kind of, if it rains, I can't do anything because, I play in the dirt. So, I'd go tomorrow. No problem. So, but yeah, I'm sure that we will discuss when we're done tonight. We will talk about all this, and we will see what we have going on, and then we will, we'll try to get out there. I firmly believe that we're going to have to go to the other end and park, and I will have to take some of my four-wheelers, and we will probably have to ride, somewhere on either side of the railroad tracks, wherever the safe area is. Of course, we will probably have to wear safety vests. We will probably try to have to make an effort. I honestly, I'm not sure if the other side of the railroad tracks is Corps of Engineers property or some farmer owns that. I really can't say because I know where we got to go in is farmland. But once you get down to that area, I don't think there's any farmland. I think it's all woods, and it's not that far from the river.
Right.
So, I don't know. We got to do a little. We got to do a little our due diligence, or we lost a dog and we're trying to find it.
There you go.
It's going to be one of those answers. If someone says, "What are you guys doing?"
Right.
So.
Byron said, "Get with me, Dennis, when y'all plan something, and he'll try to make it up."
All right. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll let Byron do the rappelling for us.
Yeah, I'm not seeing an owner for any of that area. So that might actually be property of the railroad.
Yeah, I would say it's either railroad or it's Corps of Engineers property.
The railroad is usually pretty lenient on giving
Yeah.
permission to access their property to do a search like this.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking for a lost dog.
Yep.
And hunting and fishing. So.
And I'm going to take my drone with us when we go back out there and go ahead and fly it up and see what could be seen with that. But like you were saying earlier, this time of year with all of those trees, the canopy, it's going to be hard to see through.
It is. It really, really will be difficult. And that's why I feel like we would have better luck, better results if we were down at the railroad track level, looking there and looking up into the hillside versus trying to look down through the top of all the canopy and vegetation.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out, okay, well, did the flood of 93 cause some of the hillside to wash down and cover the car? Are we going to have to start focusing on metal detecting? Are we going to have to, really try to look at all these images from the past and historical to see if we can see something? We can, not if we're getting sidetracked again as always, but Dennis made an incredible discovery with an area and an object that was in the water. And Dennis was able to basically tell us that over a period of years from 1988 that the creek actually grew by how many feet, Dennis?
It shifted by at least 60 feet.
So 60 feet of shoreline and farmland was lost to this creek in this area. So we know that stuff changes. We will just have to, look and see. Anything's a possibility, but I'm just curious if the flood of 93, the water went past the railroad tracks and started going up the hillside as it was flooding that area, which caused some of the land to wash down and cause it to cave in. I'm
gonna break in here real quick, Alex. It's getting ready to shut us off here in about a minute.
Okay.
So if we end up just disappearing, sorry guys.
Yeah. But yeah, something we definitely need to try to look at this, and I'm sure we'll research it really good before we go. Look at images. I'm sure Jen will probably share something with us and what she's thinking, and and is everything that we do, and we'll try to really take a good gander at it and,
Yeah.
try to get some answers. So that's all we can do. So
we want to thank Jen for coming on and doing her magic as always. So thank you, Jen, for coming in.
You're welcome.
absolutely.
And Tamara, as always, thank you so much for what you do. I know it can be draining, so thank you so much for doing this tonight.
No, you're welcome.
Alex, do you have anything else you want to throw in there, bud?
I just want to thank everybody that showed up tonight to discuss stuff with us and ask questions. And we appreciate everybody.
Yep.
When you reach out with us and ask questions and this and that, we are very thankful. We love everybody that wants to participate. I wish more people would, but hey, we are happy with our regulars.
Yes.
Our new guests, thank you for being a part of it. And please share. Please hit the like button.
Yeah.
We don't come out and beg for money or ask for money or this and that. We love it if people would send donations or this or that. We would be blessed and grateful and very appreciative. But hey, just a simple like, a simple thank you and being here and, being a part of it is what matters to us.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And, once again, thank you for Tamara for what she does with us. And of course, the one and only Jen, who does an incredible job with what she does. We appreciate her. We appreciate her hard work that she's done over the years. We thank her for being a good friend to us. There's been lots of times Dennis and I has messaged with Jen, asking her questions or this and that. So we're always appreciative, very thankful. So thank you very much.
Anything else you want to throw in there?
Yeah. From the moment that I guess met Jen through this case, she is one out of the handful that, and how to put this right, has consistently been about finding Randy, bringing Randy home. And it hasn't gone beyond that. It hasn't strayed into left field. It's been about Randy, and that's very much appreciated.
It's kind of become a compulsion at this point. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've thought a couple times about driving down to Kansas to look at different areas and spending a weekend out there and stuff like that.
If you ever come down here, a lot of us in the area.
Yeah.
Would be
well,
happy
I'm never
to help
pulling down
anything.
anything. I'll tell you all that right now. I can be supervisor, but that's about it.
Right.
Y'all got rattlesnakes down there too.
Yeah, we do.
I don't do snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. So
thank you for the opportunity, and thank you everyone for the team's great questions and all the questions from the people in the chat. They were all excellent questions.
They were.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody have a good evening and have a safe week at work and stuff. And stay tuned. We'll try to give you updates, over the next few days of what we plan on doing.
And have a safe Independence Day on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
And I'll send you guys that screenshot that I was talking about. And just thank you for having me.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night.